name is Brad. If you happen to be new to my videos, typically I explore the mountains of Vermont, searching for treasure with my metal detector, but today I am in the back of a side-by-side, headed to an old property on our friend Rebecca's land. This old property is in the middle of a field. It's an old cellar hole. Now, if this is one of the first of my videos that you've seen, I publish one of these every single Friday, so if you like what you see here today, consider hitting that subscribe button. Just come on back next week. We're almost to where we're headed. We're going to turn those metal detectors on and see what we can find. Well, this is a little choppy. Sometimes it's reading like a 98, 99, so we'll see. Wow, that's strange. There's a nail right through it. No wonder it was choppy sounding. Well, when I first found this little target, this little treasure, I thought it was going to be a big like coat button. And the target was fairly scratchy, so I wasn't confident it was going to be brass, but when I saw the back side, there's a nail stuck in this little loop. I would guess this is a style of bridle rosette. So a rosette on the bridle of a horse. I think that probably that nail stuck through here is just happenstance. I don't think that that was done for a purpose.
They lost their cotter pin, they used a nail.
Maybe. Usually when we find bridle rosettes, they're much bigger, but I can't really think of any other reason why this big brass disc would have that loop on the back. It's like a smaller version of exactly what the bigger ones look like.
It's awesome. It's not a very old nail, is it? Is it a cut nail?
No, it is. It's a little square nail.
Is it?
Yep.
Cool.
I'll leave it in there. It tells the story. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Still wants to twist.
Oh yeah, piece of an oil lamp.
Yeah.
And sometimes, if you're lucky, on the very end of that little disc that you twist, there'll be like patent information, manufacturer's information.
I was thinking my little toothbrush.
That's a first. I think you're going to revolutionize the metal detecting game here with the
it's so gentle.
Electric toothbrush.
Okay.
Is there anything?
There's definitely writing, but
cool.
It's hard to...
It's usually 1860s, 1880s patent date, and it would have been made, obviously, after the patent date. Common find around places like this before electricity.
Yeah,
the
like
little
that's
gears.
the little gear.
Yeah.
Cool.
88, 90, nice. Oh, cool. Whoa! So, do you know what that is?
A lock thing.
It is. Ready for the coolest part?
What? It just... Oh my god!
Isn't that cool?
Oh my god!
It would have swiveled down and covered up the hole.
Is that a cross on it?
It does kind of look like a cross, doesn't it? Well, what a cool find this thing is. It's obviously part of a padlock, and you know, oftentimes when we find these old padlocks from the end of the 1800s, the whole lock itself is iron, and the only thing that is brass and is still recognizable is the keyhole cover and sometimes the keyhole itself. This, while only a piece, is part of a full brass padlock. Fortunately, we only have a small piece of it, but certainly the best piece. Here we can actually see what the shape of the key would have been, and the keyhole cover, L-N-M Co. I believe these covers were to prevent water from getting inside the lock. Most of the mechanisms on the inside would have been iron and wouldn't have wanted those to rust, so if this was outside, keyhole cover covers up the hole and protects it, except for whatever happened to this. It certainly didn't protect it from being absolutely destroyed. I have found several of these shot in the past, shot off. It looks like this one though was destroyed, perhaps to gain entry after somebody lost the key. So cool. We're gonna have to do some research on this L&M Co, but best guess would be 1880s, maybe even the early 1900s. Awesome, awesome find, especially with the keyhole cover. A lot of times we find them without a keyhole cover and then we have no way of identifying the company or the age, but this should give us a pretty good idea. Lovely. 80. Nice target. Oh, no way. Well, right off here to my right is the remains of a giant bank barn. Bank barn meaning the first floor would have been accessible by this side, and the second floor would have been accessible by the back side because it's built into the bank. And this little thing I just found right now, I have found several of them in the past, but never so much of one. So we can see here, this part was not attached, and so we can really kind of see how this would have worked back when it actually spun. This is the hinge to an old ruler. So it would have come out this direction, would have come out this direction, and of course you could have folded it to make it smaller. Now what I find so cool about this one is that there's actually wood still intact inside these two pieces of brass. You can see right here as this comes off, this right here is wood. This is very likely from the end of the 1800s, and the reason that the wood still remains is because this brass has such a high copper content. Copper is a natural, has antimicrobial properties, and keeps wood and leather and things like that intact in the ground for a very long time. It's just sandwiched in between. So that's cool. I mean, we're not going to find any manufacturer's information that would have been on the wood, but we know what it is for sure. It's a great find, and it makes sense, you know, where we found it, right next to the barn.
So they probably lost the whole thing, and only the wood that's, that's surrounded by the copper is what's left.
For sure. And it would have had pieces on the end too, metal pieces on the end. I checked the hole, they didn't seem to be in there, so, you know, maybe it was broken and they just lost this bit, or maybe they're around here somewhere. I'll have to keep looking. It's pretty cool. All right, right here I have an 86. Sounds good. Don't know about that one. I think it's an old clothespin.
Yeah?
I've never found an old clothespin. That's certainly what it looks like.
That looks like a clothespin.
I don't know why they wouldn't use like wooden ones, like the classic wooden clothespin, but...
Neat. Must be.
Right? Isn't that what that looks like?
It sure does. Well, that's how the old wooden ones looked like, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, it looks just like a wooden one, but metal.
Yeah, I can't tell what it's made out of. It almost seems like it's made out of aluminum.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it is aluminum.
Yeah, it's light.
Yeah, it's probably 20th century, I guess. $86, sounds good. Oh, nice. Well, I have found a few of these in the past, and truth be told, the first time I found one, I thought for sure it was part of a musical instrument. As a musician, that's the first thing that came to mind, but of course it isn't. It is for smoking, and it almost seems like it could have been used for a cigarette, but I'm fairly confident this went to a pipe, a new mouthpiece for a pipe. This material that the bulk of this thing is made out of is not metal. The part that my metal detector heard is this small aluminum piece here. Looks like there may have been some manufacturer's information. There is an F right here, but because of the composition, this is a piece of aluminum, and this is a piece of what I'm assuming is Bakelite, or a very early plastic, well into the 1900s, but still a pretty cool find. You know, we're still right next to this big old barn where we found the ruler hinge, and now we know that somebody was sitting around puffing on their pipe. Pretty cool. You can still buy these today, but this is obviously an old one because of where we found it. Excellent. Well, I messed up. I thought my camera was running, and we just found a beautiful little jingle bell. We're gonna go give it to the landowners, Rebecca and her mom, see what they think. You want to try to figure out what this is?
You found a bell. What are they called? Those weird words.
Yeah, it's a weird word. Crotal bell.
Crotal.
Yeah, or it's a sleigh bell or a jingle bell. Or...
Wow. I so wanted to find a bell.
And you can see sometimes the real old ones have loops on top, but this one is more of a rivet style.
Yeah.
So you can imagine this would have been riveted to a strip of leather with a whole bunch of them around the horse's neck.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a nice one.
Bell.
And if we get the dirt out of there, I'm sure the little clapper will still be in there. Yep, it's made out of bronze.
Wow.
It'll sound great. Good find.
Awesome.
Nice, 91. I got more of that stupid stuff. Oh yeah. For sure. Wooden scales, blade broken off.
So do you think it was a knife that folded?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's two blades. You can see one blade is still folded in. The other one was out and broken off.
Okay.
And that's probably why it's in the ground, is because they threw it.
And that looks like copper right there. Is that copper? That maybe that's why the wood stayed intact?
If you imagine the wood not being there, there would have been a flat plate there. Those are brass. Okay. This is brass in here, underneath the wood. This is probably brass. The blades, of course, are steel. All rusted out. But
neat.
It's a cool find.
Yeah.
I had junk. 91. Nice. It's gonna double beep it. It might be shallow. It is. What have we got here? It's a little silver coin. Oh, Rebecca. Well, it wasn't 10 minutes ago. Rebecca said, I've been waiting for you to say, oh, Rebecca, because that means I had found an old coin. And I was actually heading back to my car to empty all of the trash out of my bag. Swinging as I went, got a pretty nice target. And what we have here is a little silver coin. This is the back. It's pretty worn, which means it was probably in circulation for a while. What we have, 1919.
Cool. Do you want my toothbrush?
No, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, it's a little silver mercury dime. We found a wheat cent earlier, and it was the 30s, right? 1930 something.
Yeah.
This was definitely in circulation before it was dropped, probably at least by 1930, because you can see how worn it is. But that's cool. The first silver coin on one of Rebecca's properties. Not as quite as old as some of the stuff closer to the 1700s house, but hey, I had said since day one, today's the day we're going to find a silver coin. Took 4 tries to find it, but here we are.
You think you found one up there?
Okay. You got a good target up there?
I got a good target.
That's the silver dollar. That's the Morgan silver dollar. Great find. There's certainly more of them out here. Maybe the next one will be from the 1800s.
I mean, if Dad was down here clawing, you know, with a machine, could it be a tooth?
It's not, Mom. It's a duck.
No, it's definitely a bird, a water bird of some kind.
Yeah,
If it's
is it?
It's
but
not
it's
like
yellow,
it's a duck.
so it's probably a duck, right?
Could you as a toy?
Is it iron? Did you?
It was reading like 80.
Oh no, it's high. Yeah.
It was reading in the 80s.
If it's like zinc or something, but never found one of those before.
Yeah, I know. No one was gonna expect a metal duck head in the ground.
I mean, what was it for? Who knows? Maybe just like a lawn decoration.
Because it's not a kid's toy.
I mean, maybe
The end of a cane? No.
that would have been very cool. Like to see the dapper gentleman walking around with a duck cane.
It's like more of like a child's cane.
Yeah.
Like it's not really, it's so small.
All right, folks. Well, hey, on that note, I'll be calling it a day. It was another half day for me. It's only about 4 hours, and I would say, given that time, we did great. We found some really awesome stuff. Huge thanks once again to Rebecca and her family for allowing me to wander around their expansive property. Got everything we found today laid out. Let's take a look. All right, well, for a half day, I would say that we have quite the pile of treasures between the 3 of us. In the way back, we have, we were just discussing this, it's a bell of some kind. Can't really tell if it was a bicycle bell or a telephone bell or even a sleigh bell, but it certainly was a bell of some kind. Big old pocket knife, a pile of 3 or 4 brass buckles, this incredible the duck head, which seems like it was painted yellow. I'm not really sure what kind of metal that was, if it was some kind of zinc. It doesn't seem like it's heavy enough to be lead, but I assume it was a whole duck at one point. We have some lamp parts, probably the biggest button I have ever seen. I'm wondering if that was more upholstery than it was worn on a person. We have the mouthpiece to a pipe, a wonderful little jingle bell, this bridal rosette with a nail through the hook. Clothespin, never found a metal clothespin before. I have to assume that's less than 100 years old because it seems like it's made out of aluminum, but still very cool. A very old wooden ruler hinge. 3 coins, 2 wheat cents, and a 1919 silver mercury dime. And then last but not least, I think my favorite find of the day is just part of a full brass padlock with the keyhole cover. L&M Co. Very, very cool. Awesome day. All right, folks. Well, hey, thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and hopefully you'll join me back here next week for another new video. Thanks again.